Mike, you're muted.
I didn't have my hand raised yet, so go on to somebody else first, please.
Okay, Matthew Gutierrez.
Hey, buddy. How you doing, man? Wanted to ask you a little bit more about your relationship with GMAC. You touched on it last night, and I was just wondering if you could expand a little bit more on the role he's played in your development, your relationship, and what he's been able to help you do on the floor, especially the last few weeks.
GMAC's my guy. If there's anyone I work the most closely with, it's him. We're always putting work in every day, before practice, after, in the summertime, 6 a.m. every day. Me and him I've been in the gym with him more than anyone. Eric Dievendorf's up there, but in terms of at Syracuse, him for sure, just every practice. He works with the guards, so he's always in my ear, and, he's the first person to tell me if I need to, play with more intensity on defense, or if I need to space it better. He's always telling me that stuff. He's the first person to get on me, and he's always holding me accountable, and I love that about him. Is he's going to be honest with me, tell me what I need to work on, and he always thinks I can get better. So just working with him for the past 5-6 years has been the best, and there's no one else I'd rather work with. And he has so much knowledge on the game. He's one of the best players to play at Syracuse, and it's just a dream come true for me.
Next, we'll go to John Kikis from AP.
A couple of years ago, you didn't fare so well in the NCAA tournament. How did that affect you, and is that for any kind of motivation?
I tried not to think about that. That was, definitely a bad game for me. I felt like I let our team down that year. Felt like I could have been a lot better. But this is a different year. This is a different game. If you put pressure on yourself and think about that past game, then it's just going to bottle over into this game. It's not going to help. If you miss a couple of shots, you're going to start stressing out. And that's the one thing I didn't want to do. Is I came in expecting a really tough game, a really good opponent, and it was not going to be easy. And if I miss some shots, that's going to happen. But just not stressing about anything, thinking about what game it was, just kind of going like I did in the ACC tournament, which was just going out there and playing, and whatever happens, happens. If I get good shots, I'm going to take them, and hopefully they fall. And they did yesterday, and the last thing I wanted to do was put pressure on myself.
Thanks, Ben.
Next, we'll go to Howard Frederick.
Hi, buddy. I wanted to ask you what your earliest memory is of an NCAA tournament game, either watching on TV or maybe if you ever tagged along with your father to games he was coaching in?
The youngest memory I have, it was like a 2-second memory, but I remember jumping up and down in my living room with my sister, my twin sister, and our babysitter at the time who was watching us at the national championship game. I was 4 years old, and I just remember jumping up and down. I didn't really know what it meant, but I just know that something good happened. And I was into Syracuse basketball when I was 5 or 6 years old, watching games, whatever it was, and just so many great tournament runs. The recent ones, 2016 is one that sticks out to me. 2018, the Sweet 16 run, when I've gotten older and gotten closer with the players, and being able to be in those experiences are the best. And, being able to go to the tournament was the highlight of my year as a kid. Being able to miss school, it's always the best time of the year. And as a kid, I have so many great memories of March Madness and all the runs we've gotten to make in the past. It's been just amazing to be a part of all those and be able to go to each game in each different venue and all the memories made.
And do you remember when it was that you thought to yourself, hey, maybe I will play for my dad in an NCAA tournament game? At what point did that become something that seemed real to you?
It was always for me coming here, it was whether or not I was good enough. I don't think people really knew about me or knew I was capable of until my junior summer playing AU basketball. I had a really good summer, a really good tournament at Peacham, shot the ball really well, and coaches kind of started coming up to my dad, Roy Williams, other guys saying, you need to take your son. He can play. And I think that's when I first realized, maybe I can do something here and contribute. But I mean, it probably took about a year until the end of my freshman year that I realized I can really be something here and contribute and be a big player for us. And just my evolution and growth over these past 3 years have been something I never would have expected. And I owe that to just the coaches and the trainers here have helped me so much grow as an athlete and a player. And it's just been a lot of fun and always trying to get better no matter how high or low I am.
Next, we'll go to Ncaa Tamurian.
Thank you. Hey, buddy. Obviously, last night was an incredible performance. How do you balance that, the euphoria of that, winning an NCAA tournament game, playing as well as you did, with kind of turning around and getting ready for a really tough team tomorrow?
You gotta stay level-headed. You gotta stay focused. You can't let one game just affect everything. You gotta say, all right, that's over with. Now we're on to West Virginia. That's all that matters right now. They're a great team. They're going to be a heck of a matchup, really good inside-outside game, really good shooters, one of the best teams in the tournament. So it's kind of you enjoy it last night. Just enjoy the win, be happy that it happened, but now it's back to business, and you can never get too high on the wins and on the great moments. You have to stay focused, especially in a tournament like this.
Thanks, bud.
Next, we'll go to Greg Hunter.
So, buddy, go back to your history of Syracuse basketball. How well do you remember West Virginia Syracuse games, and any special moments of those?
A lot of memories. West Virginia, always a good game. A specific moment, there's probably not a game with them. I mean, the specific moment would definitely be 6 overtime game as a kid. I went back to the locker room. I couldn't, in the second overtime, I was 9 years old or something. I was just sweating. I was crying. I was a mess. And me and my mom went back to the locker room, and Coach Huggins was sitting in there with us eating carrots, waiting to see who the winner was. And he told us, we'll see you guys tomorrow. And ever since then, I've really liked him. And we beat them the next night in overtime, so that also helped. But he's a great coach, and there's one of their best players, Derek Culver. I played with him at Brewster, so he's a really good player. I'm looking forward to playing against him tomorrow night.
Next, we'll go to Mario Sacco.
What a great game last night. When you look at this year in general, is it possible that you can be playing with a little chip on your shoulder, getting snubbed with the ACC, and people really not saying that you're one of the best players in the ACC? Do you go out there and play with that chip on your shoulder night in and night out?
Yeah, I've played with a chip on my shoulder ever since I got here. People thought I was going to be a walk-on, whatever. I came in the 300s as a recruit, and having the coach's son label is always something that will motivate me, and just trying to show that I'm more than that, and my teammates and coaches believing in me and know what I'm capable of. So I always have a chip on my shoulder. I know that I need to, no matter what, if I'm averaging 5 points a game or 18, I still have that chip on my shoulder no matter what's going on, because I know where I was at 2-3 years ago and what people were saying about me, and no matter where I'm at, I'm going to always have that and always work as hard as I can to get better, because it's always about the long haul and the future and getting better, because you don't know where you can be in a month or 2 months or 3 months. It's always about improvement.
Keep lighting it up, buddy. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Stephen Bailey.
Hey, buddy, a couple of quick ones on kind of what this experience is like for you. Anyone cool or interesting reach out to you to kind of congratulate you on the success, and how does preparation change knowing that you're going to be the focal point of what West Virginia is trying to do defensively?
Yeah, it was really cool just seeing all the people congratulating me, people I haven't talked to in a couple of years, friends from high school, middle school. It was really fun just being able to see how much they enjoy watching me play. It means a lot to me. And Dion in particular put me on his Instagram story and said, keep going, keep being aggressive. And that was one of my favorite players growing up. Wes Johnson said something that was probably a top 5 favorite player for me growing up. a lot of former Cuse players showing love, and just means everything to me because those were my heroes growing up. I looked up to them, and Eric Devendorf texted me after the game, giving me more advice, like always, telling me what I need to do going forward better. I wouldn't expect anything less from him, and just a lot of people reaching out. And Tim the Tap Man said something before the tournament. He's something I'm a big fan of, and he came to a couple games last year, and he's a great guy. So I know he's a big Cuse guy. So just a lot of people congratulating us, and it means a lot. And you just want to keep going for them and the whole fan base. Did you ask 2 questions?
Yeah, and they're a little different, but what's it like to prep, just kind of knowing that West Virginia is going to be game planning for you?
It's just same focus. I think at this point, a lot of teams are playing me pretty tight no matter what. I don't think I've gotten many easy shots the last couple of games, and I just need to have that mindset that I'm not going to get easy shots, but if I get space, just take my shots and focus on making plays too. I think I'm going to get doubled a little more. So just looking for Marek slipping. He's so dangerous getting at the high post area with a full head of steam ahead of him. He can pass it, he can finish, and he's doing a great job of that. So, and Quincy as well in the second half, he was getting more aggressive. I think he'll have a big game tomorrow, and just continuing to be a threat at all times, whether making shots or not, whatever it is, just getting to my spots, moving without the ball, and being a threat always. So just having the same mindset, not overthinking anything and putting any extra pressure on myself.
We have time for 2 more questions. We'll go to Carly Nevis for the next one.
Buddy, you mentioned playing with Derek at Brewster. What's it going to be like to suit up against him in the NCAA tournament? And what's the scout about him that you're giving your teammates?
It's going to be a lot of fun. Derek's a great player, someone I got really close with at Brewster. He's a great guy, and a lot of good memories with him. He's an all-around great player. He's a monster down low. He's left-handed, so that's something I'm going to tell Marek and Jesse, force him right, even though he can finish both hands, and just try to contain him. I mean, you can only do so much against a guy like that. He's a great player, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm just looking forward to getting out there with him. I'll try to give my teammates some advice, and hope it works.
And for our final question, we'll go to Tyler Rao.
Hey, buddy, congrats on the win and the great performance. A little off topic here. I wanted to ask you about the NCAA tournament situation where the women's, like I've seen a lot of things on Twitter. The women's side has a different weight room. I'm sure you've seen it on Twitter.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that as far as like the quality of, what they provide you guys versus the women's?
Yeah, I just think, they definitely deserve more. Women's basketball is great. I really enjoy watching our women's team play. I'm looking forward to. I'm bummed we play at the same time, but I know they're gonna do their thing, and it's been a lot of fun watching them this year. But it's definitely, it's tough to see that. They deserve the same amount of resources we get, I think, and there's some great women's college basketball players, and I've really enjoyed watching women's college basketball this year, and I think they deserve as much as we deserve. So it's definitely frustrating to see, and just hope that, adjustments can be made for them to, get what they deserve.
Thank you. Good luck Sunday.
Thanks.
Thank you, buddy. We'll be on with Coach momentarily.